A non-Rita wandering through these frigid lands. It takes courage, or perhaps folly, to traverse the forlorn swords alone. Sit, if it pleases you. A warm flame is rare here. The farther north you go, the less life you'll find. Nothing but snow, mountains, and the Dalrita, mourning days long gone. My advice, leave them be. And if you're fool enough to poke one, run like hell while you still can. They tend to explode. I am Vati. Little else of me is worth knowing. Yet you asked as though you seek some greater tale. Not in my case, stranger. I'm just an old man, exiled from a tribe long ago. You, however, seem sharp, strong, and you're not from here. That much is clear. Now it's you I'm curious about. So tell me, what brings you to the Forlorn Swords? Well, I'll be. I haven't heard a tale like that in years. And what do you need those cursed trinkets for? Aye. You're right. Just take 'em, sure. Nobody has any use for those anymore anyway. I don't think Gerfan'll mind. He'll probably put you to work. He's got a habit of that. But aside from that, you'll have no issue with it at all. Camelot. They butchered almost everyone from the Gunvaldir tribe. Old Frode, Gunvaldir chief, knew the Camelosians were coming. He called for aid, but no one answered his plea. What a disgrace. And so, divided we fall. Now, his firstborn wages his own war in the south. The Dalrita dared not speak his name aloud. Among the Dalrita, there were rumors that their giants had begun to stir. Hard to say how much truth there is to it. Look for yourself. Still sleeping like the dead. Camelot may have feared it, though. A wakened giant would have been just another burden on their already troubled heads. And royalist heads seem far less suited to carrying burdens. That's how I see it. Here? No. What happened here was a slaughter. The battle itself was fought in the fortress, but I wouldn't advise going there. Folks lose their wits there. For as long as I recall, restless Dalrita lingered within its walls, kinless or destined to leave heirs that would not remember their ancestors. But then the Gunvaldir decided to look after them. They claimed the fortress for themselves. No one objected. Gunvaldirs had close ties to the spirits of their ancestors. They took in those forgotten as their own, forging a bond with them. In return, the spirits granted them strength, sometimes even coming to their aid. Frode and his people thought moving the battle within the fortress walls would give them advantage. Well, they all died, so that tells you how it turned out. The only tribe living close enough were the Ulfar, but trust me, most would rather raise a toast to their ancestors than meddle with their spirits. Let the dead remain dead, as they say. I was once a scribe, and true to my calling. I live in the past, stranger. I won't tell you anything of value, just old tales and bygone days. I have little contact with the tribes these times. The words of an exiled Darita carry little weight, same as his name. You'd be better off discovering things for yourself, believe me. It will be a far greater lesson than anything I could ever tell you.
Who dares disturb the silence of the stone? Speak, small one, and tell me why you stand before the summoner. Tryggva, the parasite clinging to the pillar. He twists the old ways for his own greed, a shadow of what the Ulfra once stood for. If you wish to rid the world of his corruption, you must prove you are worthy of my power. Call forth your allies, mortal. The summoner respects not lone strength, but the bonds that carry us forward. Together, you will face this trial. Fail, and I shall remain silent forevermore. Faced my summons and stood victorious. Few possess the strength to endure, and few...
Walker in the weirdness, what draws you to this place where stone and life entwine? Speak, and let the truth in your heart fill the silence. Thrygve. His corruption spreads like a poison, choking the life from all it touches. If you wish to stand against him, you must show me that you honor life, even as you prepare to battle death. Bring me the fragile. Flowers. The symbol of life's beauty and brevity. Prove that you understand what you fight to protect, and I will grant you the strength you seek. Show me your heart, mortal, and it is steady and true. Take this blessing, forged in both bloom and ash, a fragment of what was and what will endure. May it shield you in your darkest moments, and remind you of what you fight to protect. Go with my blessing, child, and let life flourish where you walk.
Well met, traveler. By the stones, you've done it. The blessing of the giants. Do you have any idea what you've accomplished? Forging a weapon from them is the pinnacle of the Stone Warden's craft. It's a feat spoken of in tales but never achieved in living memory. You've brought us to the peak of what we can do, and surpassed even that. It would be an honor to forge this. The giants entrusted their strength to you, and I'll make sure it's bound in steel worthy of their name. Watch closely, for this is the craft of the ages. It is done. Use it with purpose. The strength of the giants is yours to wield. Do not squander it. fought bravely, and I have heard your will. But me, chieftain, I never sought such a thing. I've always been a stone warden, shaping steel, not people.
You are a man of honor, strength, and skill. I trust you completely. With you at the helm, the Ulfar will regain their strength.
Well, if this is what the tribe needs, I'll bear the weight. The Ulfar deserves a steady hand, and I'll do my best to give them one. Just don't expect me to enjoy it. The Forge was a far simpler place to rule. Out of the question. Don't get me wrong. I respect my brother's faith in a united Dalrita. But let's not fool ourselves. The Dalrita are anything but united, and this so-called rebellion of One Ice is bound to collapse. Right now, we should be worrying about the weirdness, not another damned war with Camelot.
I can't lie. I thought going to the moot might have been good for us. The Ulfar could use a place at the table. But maybe Darvan's right. After the whole damned mess with Thrigvi, we need to stop chasing other people's wars and start rebuilding as a tribe.
And now, I've got not only the Stone Wardens to lead, but the whole pack of stubborn Ulfar as well. And I will lead them, but not by barking my orders like Thrigva did. It'll take years to remind them what it means to be Ulfar. And now you ask me, after deciding their future with me at the helm? Ha! That's bold of you. But don't worry. They've got a good instinct. That whole mess with Thrigvi, it infuriated me. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't imagined what I'd do differently. Had I been the one to earn the giant's blessings. And I've got a thing or two up my sleeve. Warriors need a steady hand to lead them. But they also need respect. Just like the Stone Wardens. So strength and respect will be restored. That much, I promise. Ulfar needs a leader, not a loudmouth. I'll remind them of that. Now, I suppose I should see what kind of mess I've inherited.
Think you lost your way. Turn back and be on your way. This is the village of the Svein tribe. Whatever you're looking for, you won't find it here. Listen, I don't know. I just have orders not to let anyone in. So unless you have real business here, go explore other parts of the swords. You should have led with that. Go on then. to keep it brief.
You came late. Some of us stayed. Most of us didn't. If you're looking for survivors, you won't find many. Our god rose and tore the ground open. Half the village went with him. Half stayed behind. Away forever. Into the lands of the eternal hunt. My sons are gone now. Both of them. I buried what I could, and the rest I left to the sky. Now I pray so that I remember how to live without them. I was raised to worship, not to cry. If a god calls you home, you answer. If he leaves you standing, you pray harder. I buried the bodies. I will mend the roof. I will plant what seed we have left. There's nothing else to do. Walk steady.
And who might you be? Are you the messenger of the Stagfather, the one Glirna foretold? If she's right for once, well, that'd be a first. You're a little late, by the way. Ah, perhaps that's for the best. The last thing we need is another self-proclaimed prophet causing trouble. As you can see, I've got enough on my plate. I'm Barlam, the chieftain. Welcome to the Svine lands, where the tribe that's just ceased to exist. Can't you see? I won't speak of it further. Not with outsiders. See this? One of those bodies belongs to my son, Jens. He fought bravely, to the very end. May the ancestors grant him a place at their table. May the unrealm of the hunt show him mercy. It's a damn shame his god failed him. You just had to be stubborn, didn't you, kid? Hey, no point wasting breath. What's done is done. Most of the Svine tribe is gone. Let me guess. He wants to call the moot. He's been trying for years, and every time I've had to refuse. Not because I want to. I know the moot is sacred law. But above that law is my duty to protect the tribe. And as you can see, I've failed. The Svine tribe is gone. Not having a tribe is what's holding me back. Can you turn back time? Bring my people back to life? No? That's what I thought. I don't know you. And if Gerfan thinks I'll trust someone from outside the tribes on his word alone, he's showing weakness. Especially now. But I do have a solution. Find Kjell. If she vouches for you, I'll honor the voice of the tribe's request. And I'll let you help us, if that's even possible. She should be nearby. She'll have a task for you, something to prove you can be trusted. Once that's done, meet me here. Maybe then I'll share something more.
You picked a damned bad time to show your face here. Outsiders in the village are rarely good news. But now, after what happened, don't you think we have enough trouble without you? Sure, that's what all outsiders say, until trouble finds them. Anyway, watch yourself. One wrong move, and you'll have more than just me to deal with. Our whole village will be on you. At least, what's left of us. What do you want? Well then, the two of you aren't talking. I don't know you, and I'm not vouching for you. The sooner you leave the village, the better. For you, and for... Wait, hold on. There is one thing you could help me with. One of our hunters went to the cave nearby, and hasn't returned. With everything that happened here, I forgot all about him. If you want to prove yourself, find out what happened to him. And don't come back empty-handed. Because someone has to stay here and keep an eye on suspicious strangers. Besides, I don't owe you an explanation. Are you going or not? Good. You'd best be on your way. What do you want? What? You went to the bottomless cave? And you made it out alive? That's impossible! It would have torn you apart in an instant. There is no missing hunter. I sent you to the bottomless cave because I was hoping to get rid of you. But now that you managed to make it out alive, I have to admit I'm impressed. I'm the best huntress here, and even I have respect for that place. I don't dare set foot in those parts. Go talk to Barlam, our chieftain. He'll probably find some use for you. I can't tell you more than that. Barlam will decide what you need to know. No need to linger.
Kill you, maybe. But the fact that you're still breathing only proves your strength and your determination. You survived Kjell's trial, which means you've proven yourself worthy of knowing what we're up against. The Stagfather happened. A bunch of fanatics called him into this world. They claimed that when he arrived, he would devour everyone, then choose his own and grant them their rightful place in the afterlife. You can see how well that turned out. And that's how the story of the Svine tribe ends. I doubt we'll ever recover from this. He is our most important god, the one we worshipped in the homelands. And we brought him here with us. He watched over us, blessed us with an abundance of game, In return, he had our unwavering devotion. But, as it often happens, some became blindly devoted, while others began to doubt. And the first group decided that the rest were unworthy of the Stagfather's grace, so they set him loose, to kill the entire tribe. The faithful joined him. The unbelievers were slaughtered. One of ours, Gudry, did something completely suicidal, with the help of our shamaness. He accepted the god into his body and is trying to keep him contained. But he's growing weaker by the day. We don't have much time before the Stagfather breaks loose again. And trust me, mixing the old gods with the weirdness thickening in these lands is the worst possible combination. We have to act quickly, although I have no idea where to even start. Out of the question. If we don't deal with the Stagfather, what happened here will happen to the rest of the Forlorn Swords. And the only thing that's happened so far is you proving you don't bow to fear, and that you know how to handle a weapon. Now, I need someone willing to help the Svine tribe. Well, that's a good question. Because I have no idea. All I know is that we need to find a way to get rid of the Stagfather once and for all. Gudry won't be able to hold on much longer. And when he gives up, we're all lost. Go find Glirna. She must know something. She's the shamaness serving the damn thing, and somehow she's keeping Gudry alive. We may not like each other, but I know Glirna isn't a fanatic. She owes as much to her own tribe as she does to the Stagfather. Glirna is our old soothsayer. Very old. When I was a kid, that hag was already as wrinkled as an apple, forgotten in the storehouse for 3 winters. When I was a kid, that hag was already as wrinkled as an apple, forgotten in the storehouse for 3 winters. But fate has tangled our paths, and we have no choice but to work together. The fate of the tribe is more important than our petty squabbles. If you need to get ready, go see Hjarn. He'll help you with your gear. There's still the cook, Sagar. You could talk to him too. You can sleep in any of the empty houses. I'm sure their previous owners won't mind.
The forest whispered, the fire screamed, the bones agreed, and at last, here you are, just in time. In my dreams, I hear the crack of seals and snapping bones. The horned god cursed with pain and blood, tears at the bonds I used to bind him. The earth trembles with his fury. Can you feel it? Soon he will break free, and then we shall pay for calling him with blood, not faith. He cannot be healed. He will not forgive us. But I can try to keep him bound by will, by bone, and by blood. To do that, I need a fragment of his original self. The first trophy. The skull of the first stag ever hunted and offered in sacrifice to the horned god. It will remind him of who he once was. Bind his essence to the first offering, one made out of reverence, not fear. It may hold him in the unrealm of the hunt, long enough for me to complete the rite that will seal him there. It's hidden, tied to the places where we once worshipped the horned god. 3 shrines, as old as the forest itself. But now, they must be destroyed. Each one... Once all 3 fall, the 4th shrine, hidden and forgotten, will reveal itself. The first trophy waits there. Go, but be warned. The shrines are no longer sacred. They're fouled by hatred, and the guardians who watch over them do not rest. It's the horned god's domain, a place where time does not flow beyond the reach of humankind. Once, it was lush and alive, where the hunt was sacred, wild, pulsing with green and the crimson of blood, teeming with beasts and birds in the boughs. I doubt it still is. Yes, Gudri, who took the horned god's fury into himself to save us all. He reached for blood and bone, and let me turn his body and soul into a vessel for the god's essence. I sealed it with wards, like a cage of thorns. But the god's wrath will tear through them, sooner or later. And when that happens, there'll be no saving us. If you want to bind a god, you don't choose the method. You use everything. Old songs stolen from the dead, runes slick with black blood, teeth and claws. The horned god in his hate-twisted form was a nightmare that came to devour us all. The finest warriors of the Spine, the pride of our tribe, gave their lives on the altar of battle to weaken him. My disciples, my sons and daughters, they strayed. After the Gunvalda massacre, I and the others who served the horned god could not bear the shame. We heard our kin cry out and turned our heads. We betrayed our blood. The most devout called upon the old powers, out of grief, out of rage, but without reverence or care. They begged the horned god to come and punish us. And he did. Not as a guardian. Not as a spirit of the woods. He came as fury, pain, and slaughter. I didn't think they'd reach so deep into the dark. By the time I saw what they were doing, the earth was already soaked in blood. They opened a door, and I gave them the key, in the form of songs, rites, and signs. Follow the path that lies ahead.
you're here. I knew you'd succeed. Fire and bone do not lie. There's no time left, child. The horned god is tearing Gudri's body apart, and his fury fills the air. Soon, his essence will break loose and devour everything in its path. I must begin the ritual. But I fear he may be too blinded by rage and pain to see the first trophy as anything more than bone and memory. Your path leads to the unrealm of the hunt. There, you'll face the horned god. If you can weaken him, if you can break through the frenzy even for a moment, then the first trophy might reach what's left of his old self. Oh, child, we both know you're not entirely human. Your second soul will guide you where others lose their way and perish. I understand. He's the chieftain after all. But be wary of his words. Whatever is going through your mind right now, there is no other option. We need you and your help. If you need to prepare, go. I'll open the passage for you anyway. But remember, you're not going there to bring death to the horned god. Wound him, weaken him, then return. That's when the trophy will speak, and I will close the gate behind you. Hopefully, for good. Take care. The horned god does not forgive weakness.
Maybe he can, but so what? Gudri won't survive the process either way. Besides, if you ask me, it was foolish of my ancestors to bring that god here. They didn't know what they were doing or what the consequences would be. And now we, their descendants, are the ones left to deal with it. If they'd known what would happen, I'm sure they'd have left him back in the homelands. We need to get rid of that damn thing once and for all. Even if it means the woods stay empty and the hunt runs dry. I won't let my people live in fear anymore. For too long my predecessors let that old witch manipulate them. Gudri must die, and when he does, the Stagfather will show himself. That's when we'll strike and kill him. Not on my own, of course. I need your help. From what I understand, the fight has to take place in 2 realms. And I already know you can walk that unrealm of the hunt, as Glirna calls it. You'll kill the Stagfather in that realm, and my people and I will take care of whatever appears on this side. We need to break free from this curse once and for all. Do this for me, and the full strength of the spine will stand with the voice of the tribes. It won't. We know too much already, and that's thanks to you. I won't lie, your fight will be the toughest. But you've faced worse before, haven't you? Let me know when you're ready. It's time to end this madness once and for all.
Watch your step.
Oh, you're back. I tried following you, but the door shut right in front of my face. Almost on my nose, to be honest. Maybe I could go in now, but first I'd rather you just tell me what happened in there. Four-Dweller. Ah, so it's just as I suspected. But why would a Four-Dweller be in what's supposed to be the Temple of Meter? Angsvar told me the pillar in the village was ancient, and that back in the day it would blaze scarlet with Mater's true fury. But we both know that it simply reacts to creatures touched by the weirdness, and it hardly ever blazed for either of us. That's because it's tuned to react specifically to the Four-Dwellers. I know that Alrita fought alongside King Arthur against them, but it still doesn't explain why this one tribe has a pillar like that. Oh, I see now! According to the Volker legends, the first berserkers were born on the battlefield during the war with the Four-Dwellers. Mater was supposed to lend them her anger and strength, but maybe the truth is far more visceral. Blood has power. The Druids always knew that. And the blood of a Four-Dweller must have been the purest weirdness, the purest intent. If you believed it could make you invincible, then that's exactly what it would do. War is disgusting. Blood, rot, viscera, it's all part of it. What happens in war is never pretty. Maybe, once. It could have been a captive, brought here by the Dalrita and hidden in the vault. But there's no way it survived for 600 years, being bled over and over again. Nothing could endure that. At least, I hope not. I think it's an apparition of the weirdness. Same with the blood. But with intent that strong, sustained for so long, it's probably indistinguishable from the real thing. Well, I can't say for certain. Although personally, I don't believe she's truly on Avalon. As for the potion, her wrath isn't really hers. It's born of the weirdness. That's why so many of the Volker still have its traces coursing through their veins. Once someone drinks the potion, it stays with them. But that much weirdness all at once for someone so unprepared? Well, it can't be good for them. No wonder other tribes thought they were madmen. And no wonder there are so few left. You will do with this knowledge what you see fit. Angsvar and I, we've had our differences. I doubt he'd believe me. And honestly, I'm not brave enough to try to convince him. Now, I promised you a reward. I'll give you something he refused, but it might be of some use to you. I've managed to create a recipe for something similar to their potion. It's not as potent, but now that I know what it is, it's far less damaging to the body. Take it. You look like you've still got a long journey ahead of you. The potion is sacred to the Volker. What I've made isn't. He worried that instead of giving his tribe a new purpose, it would only hasten their decline. And I think he might have been right. Don't mention it. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I think I'll stay here for a while and see how things unfold. After that, I'll find another mystery to chase. Who knows? Maybe our paths will cross again, fellow traveler in the weirdness. In the meantime, try not to get into too much trouble. Unless it's something interesting.
Yes? Who have you managed to convince? My own brother, and this is the knife he stabs me with. Yes, that's Darvan for you. As stubborn as the hammer he swings in that massive forge of his. Of course they had to choose him as their next leader. And without the Ulfra tribe, I can't see this war happening. They are our best warriors and smiths. We might as well march on Camelot with our bare asses. Yes?
Step closer. Good to see you, stranger. Not many souls pass through these lands anymore. A weird night hit, and I ran out of cobweb. Nothing to worry about. I've suffered worse back in the day. I'm Kedrun of the Volker tribe, by the way. And you're clearly not from around here. What brings you to our humble homeland? Just don't tell me you're a Camelosian spy. I'll fight you if I have to, but I'd prefer to get my strength back first. We've got one of those all right. His famous crown, blasted thing. They say he gave it to our ancestors as a sign of gratitude. I say that's bullshit. The crown was used to command giants, and only Arthur could wear it. By giving it to us, he sent a message. Behave, or I'll return and send the giants to devour you. A warning, not a gift. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But since you're already here, and I need some time to pull myself together, how about doing me a favor? And to answer the question you haven't asked yet, yes, there's something in it for you. Like not being killed by my Dalrita kin the second they see your face. Oh, you could, but you wouldn't get far. That much I'm sure of. I need you to find Gerfan and inform him of my situation. I can't complete the task he gave me. He's also the one who can grant you safe passage through our lands. Without it, things might turn bloody real quick. So, you're a real wanderer then? And here I thought this was your first time in the Forlorn Swords. You've seen a thing or two, and you've met Garth. That means you've crossed paths with a piece of our history. That man and the capital, they're both relics, if you know what I mean. How's the old wolf doing? No, don't tell me. I'll find out for myself sooner or later. Nah, I'll be fine. Just make sure Gerfan knows where I am. Don't keep him waiting. Gerfan is the voice of the tribes, chosen long ago, back when his name carried weight and the leaders still listened. They say Mather herself blessed the runes of his fate. Now, he's just an old man, waiting for a moot that may never come. But I'll give him this. He still believes, still tries to gather the tribes. If you ask me, that won't happen again in 100 years. The tribes are too busy tearing each other apart. Those days of sitting together to plan a future, gone. There's no future left, just snow, ice, and the weirdness. Still, you should meet him. A gathering of the Dalrita tribes, called by the voice, used to happen in times of peace or war, whenever something needed all of us to act. But there hasn't been one in years, not since the fall of the Gunvalder tribe. Everything's scattered now, broken. From long ago, from back when we still carried the respect of our people, I was a scribe, witness to the choices that shaped the tribes. I was there when tankards slammed in unity, or axes hit the moot table in anger. Garth trusted me, told me things he'd never share in public. His doubts, his burdens. I remember them all. But things change. You'll meet plenty of Dalrita out here. Decide for yourself what they're worth now. Sure, no need to gossip. Though I'll admit, it was nice talking to someone outside the tribes who isn't some screaming Camelosian scum. Step closer. I won't bite. Oi, you, stranger. Got a minute or not?
So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. Ready to finish your journey, of course. You've come far, but every path ends somewhere. Yours ends here, in the heart of it all. Philosophically, not you specifically, but someone like you. Literally. Yes, and I was getting quite bored with the wait. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of what happens when people fear what they don't understand. Well, first, you're going to meet my former employer. We don't see eye to eye anymore, but we both realize that our collaboration yields results, as shown by you being here. He'll try to sugarcoat the hard truths I've been telling you from the beginning, spin them differently. Never mind. Why waste time here talking about it when you're just a step from the end? It's best if you just go forth and see for yourself. To greet you. I was once where you are now. A knight with questions, searching for answers. That search led me to this place. And here I found my answers. Now it's your turn. Just remember, this is the point of no return. Once you step through, there's no going back. But if you've come this far, I suppose you already knew that. Go on. He's waiting for you. Go on.
At last we meet. I've heard much about you. Your choices, your determination. Caradoc isn't easily impressed, but he was impressed with you. Few dare to seek the truths buried in Avalon's shadows. Fewer still make it this far. I was the first. Caradoc followed when my brethren burned and the tear opened. And now, here you are. A truly rare and joyful occasion. Oh, forgive my lack of manners. I am Orin, the last apprentice of Merlin, and the last archdruid of Avalon. I've carried the weight of this land's secrets longer than I care to admit. But names mean little. What matters is the task before us. What lingers here, it's older than Avalon, older than anything we know. What you see is the beginning of weirdness itself. Its purest form, raw potential, unshaped by anything but its lack of boundaries and limits. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, precisely the opposite of what Caradoc wants. I want you to help me resurrect King Arthur. Properly this time. Ridiculous, I know. But yes, that's what it boils down to. At some point, we stopped seeing eye to eye and chose different paths. Ultimately, though, both our paths led to you. Yes, please let me explain. By the end of his life, Arthur became obsessed with his legacy. He left mementos, artifacts that embodied the virtues he wanted Avalon to preserve. Excalibur, a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. The The crown of Pendragon, a beacon of courage and resilience. The shield of Palamedes, wisdom and independence. But Merlin and the others didn't believe that would be enough. The memory of war and the fragility of peace was still too fresh. So they acted. When the king died, his soul wasn't allowed to move on. It was shattered, bound to those artifacts. A clever solution, but ultimately flawed. They feared losing what Arthur represented more than losing Arthur himself. They thought the king's essence would endure if bound to his relics. You can't pick and choose with a soul, but that's exactly what Merlin did. He focused on 3 parts of Arthur: his strength, wisdom, and courage. He left out 2 pieces. One, tainted by the Four Dwellers' magic, was deemed too dangerous. The other was his humanity, the most fragile part. Merlin thought compassion and doubt were weaknesses, unfit for a king. Without them, Arthur became hollow. A king with power, but no heart. That way, Avalon's greatest failure was born. I tried, and I found his humanity. It's here, bound, kept safe. But the Four Dwellers' aspects was left to drift, untethered between worlds. Finding it needed more than magic. It needed someone like you. The horrors you endured on that island gave you something no one else has. You can move through the weirdness, touch it, and return whole. That's why you found the king's soul, bound it to yourself, and came back. You flatter me. No, I couldn't have predicted all of that. I merely nudged the Red Church in the right direction and asked Caradoc to assist where I couldn't. I can see you're still doubting me. I want to bring back our king, whole and complete. I want him to lead again and safeguard Avalon's future. It won't. This time, Arthur will be whole. A king must be more than power. He must be human. That balance is what will save Avalon. Because I've seen what happens without him. Weirdness preys on the weak, and the people are too divided to stand against it alone. Arthur is their only hope. Ever they're left without him, without guidance, chaos takes hold. Division festers. You've seen it during your journeys. If things continue this way, Avalon will tear itself apart long before weirdness finishes the job. They will follow him. That's what people do. When weirdness comes to their doorstep, they'll beg for a savior. And Arthur will answer the call. Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
I was there when it all began, when Arthur first set foot on Avalon. I was a knight in his army. We believed in him, in his dream, in his kingdom. And for a while, it was glorious. Every battle felt like a step closer to peace. Every sacrifice justified by the dream we shared. But then came the cost. The war crimes, the impossible decisions, the massacres, slaughters, and irrational cruelty. We turned from knights into butchers, all because his dream demanded it of us. At first I told myself it was necessary, that it was the price of building something great. But the longer it went on, the harder it was to believe. That's when I realized Arthur wasn't a god, a savior, or a king. He was just another man, no different from the rest of us. And no man should have the power to demand such sacrifices. But do you understand why I want it so much? I'd like to believe that after 600 years I've moved past pettiness. You need to understand that people thought, and still think, that he was more than human. But he wasn't. He made mistakes, just like any man. And the cost of those mistakes was always paid for by others. I've seen what happens when people cling to kings and myths. They wait, they follow, they waste their lives on promises that never meant anything. But that's not my problem. I'm not here to fix Avalon or to free anyone. What comes after doesn't matter. Let it all burn, let it rot, let it rebuild. I won't be here to see it. And call it chaos, call it freedom, I don't care. Let them rise, let them fall, let them tear each other apart. I just want to watch it all come down, to see the last lie collapse under its own weight. What comes after, that's for the ones still standing to figure out. Then let it. If this world can't stand without a dead king propping it up, maybe it deserves to fall. I've lived longer than any man should, seen more than anyone should ever bear. And I've waited centuries for this moment, this chance, to end it all, to end him. Orin's a druid. That's what they do. They believe. They believe in myths, in symbols, and some of them believe in saving Avalon. I don't believe it's my decision to make. Not Orin's, not Arthur's, not mine. I've watched this cycle turn too many times. I have no stake in what comes after, only in making sure this nightmare finally ends. We were fools to tamper with forces we didn't understand. Resurrecting Arthur, infusing him with powers of the weirdness. We didn't just bend the natural laws, we shattered them. Such violations of nature's order cannot go unanswered. The bill comes due, sooner or later. Always. This cannot be allowed to continue. Listen, it's taken longer than I ever imagined, but now, here we are. You've done what no one else could, what even I couldn't do. You've brought Arthur's soul back together, almost complete, but not quite. And because of you, I can finally finish what I started centuries ago. So, thank you for bringing us to this moment. You're close now. Just one more step. The last fragment of Arthur's soul is waiting for you. Complete what you came here for. And then, we'll meet again. As allies, or as enemies. That's up to you. Go. Find the last piece, and let's end this. Whatever comes next, I'll be ready. I hope you will be too.
you've come. The one who carries what's left of me. Please, don't come any closer. Don't force me to think about coming back again. Just let me finally die. Because I've had enough. Enough of being torn apart and stitched back together. Enough of being used, shaped, and forced to be something I'm not. Do you know what it is like to be a king of nothing? To see the people you swore to protect suffer because of your choices? Or worse, in your name. I've seen towns burnt to the ground, families destroyed, all because someone thought it would serve the greater good. And they called it loyalty. They called it justice. I've been dragged through every dream, every lie they've built around me. And I'm tired. Tired of the weight, of the expectations, of all of it. And most of all, I'm tired of failing. Orin wants a king, not me. He doesn't see the broken man behind the myth. He sees a symbol, a weapon to wield against the weirdness. But symbols aren't people. They're empty. And the more they're used, the more they hollow out the one who carries them. That's all I've ever been to Orin and the Druids. Do you know what it's like to be a weapon? To be forged, sharpened, and thrown at every problem? He thinks ending me will free Avalon. But what then? Without an idea, a light to guide them, they'll stumble, lose their way, and turn on each other. People always seek something to follow, something to believe in. Take that away, and they'll tear each other apart trying to find it. Or worse, build something even crueler in its place. I want release. I want to stop being a tool in their endless struggle. Kill me. Destroy the last piece of me and use the energy however you wish. Take it yourself and become the new king. Give it to someone else. I don't care. Just don't let me come back again. Let me die. Not as Arthur, not as the king, just as a simple, normal human being. Another way? There's always another way, isn't there? Another cycle, another resurrection, another lie to keep the world spinning. But please, not for me. Not anymore. I've had enough. I don't want another chance. I want this to be over. Isn't that what you've been doing all along? Carrying what's left of him? You've already taken up the humanity I was meant to represent. Doesn't that prove Arthur doesn't need me anymore? I don't care. Do you know how freeing that is, to finally not care what happens next? Whether Orin gets his king or Caradoc gets his ruin? To not feel the burden of all my failures? To not see my memory tarnished, my plans, goals, and ambitions dragged through the mud?
to not see the suffering my name causes. No more deaths in my shadow. No more kingdoms built on my bones. Do what you think is right. That's all I can tell you, because whatever you decide, it will finally be your choice, not mine, not theirs. And that's the only thing I've ever wanted. You hold the choice. I don't care who you side with, Orin, Caradoc, or no one at all. You have all of my soul. Use it. Take it for yourself, or give it to someone else. I don't even want to know. Do what you will with it. Just let me go. Let me finally rest. Let me die. Please.
Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
Go on. He's waiting for you.
Let me go. Let me finally rest.
You carried a dying king across the bones of a dying world. Now you stand before what started it all. An idea. I am the reason there must be an ending. I do not guide. I do not judge. I exist so that something can be chosen. I do not offer meaning. I require that one be made. You have brought all things to their conclusion. Now, decide what must remain. Choose, and let the shape of the world follow. You will vanish into the story you chose to restore. You will break the frame, and what follows will not remember you. You will be seen. You will be followed. You will be blamed. You will shape the world to become its witness. Then the idea shall be claimed, its shape worn, its burden made yours. But first, you have to bring silence to what refuses to be forgotten.
If this is what you want, then take it, my friend. But promise me you will learn from my mistakes.
I won't let this happen. Not again.
You think any other human could wield this power? I endured 600 years of pain, of suffering, of loneliness. I made the sacrifices, me! And now you think you can take it from me? The hubris. No. I reject your claim. I will reforge Avalon. Perfect this time.
You took Arthur's power for yourself. Whatever drove you, need, ambition, or will alone, the strength of a king was now yours to command. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided to try. It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself, flawed, resolute, untested. Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. With your support, Galahad brought unity and discipline back to the south. The Dal Rita rebellion was contained, and for the first time in years, the people could breathe in peace. Soon after you made your decision in the Resurrection Chamber, Denham took the men here to Camelot, along with most of Kuanak's people. Yvain departed in silence to pursue the Grail and never returned, his absence barely noted as Kuanak faded into history. You awakened the giants, and with them at their side, the Dal Rita conquered Camelot. As the capital fell, the customs of the tribes spread across Avalon. Not everyone welcomed them, but the change had already taken root. Virgas remained captain of the Horns of the South. Under his leadership, the Horns honored their old traditions and returned under Camelot's banner, securing order along the southern frontier. Nianta left Kuanak with Yvain, and her fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Maggot remained among the people of Kuanak, and eventually moved with them to Camelot. There, where druids were forbidden, the community hid him in plain sight. He spent the rest of his life in secrecy, protected by those he had once helped. Urfre left Kuanak alongside Yvain, despite concerns about his age. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life, and spoke of him with lasting respect. Ailey turned to the merchants for support, and for a time the hospital prospered. But when they began charging patients for care, she walked away and opened her own small practice, refusing to serve profit over healing. Under Dav Hamra's leadership, the Ulf grew stronger but more isolated. The tribe and the Stone Wardens became one, bound by a new symbol of strength, a steady hand against the chaos beyond their borders. You accepted the mycelium's offer and let the spores consume Sagramor's body. Now the kingdom lies under fungal control, its people connected, obedient, and slowly fading into the roots that feed the spores. Killian served as quartermaster of the Horns of the South, until one night his thirst for blood drove him to murder a fellow keeper. He was caught in the act and brought to a swift end.